Who do you got for the 2025 World Series? Oh, let me think. Definitely not the Yankees and Dodgers again. Boring. So boring. I might just not watch baseball ever again. You hear that, MLB? You're losing fans because of your stupid rules. Hey, we won't have a salary cap, and we'll just let the Yankees and Dodgers spend all the money that they want. That sounds good. All in favor? Two teams. Oh, I'm not watching any Dodgers or Yankees games. That's for sure. Maybe no Mets either. I don't care if the same team wins over and over if they do it legitimately. If one team can spend, I don't know, like, let's compare the Dodgers to the Marlins. How many times? 8 times their payroll? Not fair. Should be a minimum and a maximum, all very close. You have to spend this much and you can only spend that much. Why not that? Then you have a team that wins 5 years in a row. More power to them. Yeah, that wouldn't be fair for the Dodgers, though, or the Yankees. They'd have to be on a level playing field. Not fair for them. A cap would help player development, too. It just would make things fair. But it's not about fair. It's about money. So you're kind of naive to think that it's about fairness. And when I say you, I mean me, DeVries, or anybody else who thinks that silly, foolish thing that sports should be fair. No, I think what it is it's almost about demoralizing a majority of the country. Flyover country, just demoralize the crap out of them. We're not even gonna let you guys compete. And if somehow you pull together a miracle 0.2% and make the playoffs, well, you certainly got lucky, didn't you? America's pastime, where only 2 teams are allowed to compete. Over and over. I know that's not completely true. These other rich owners, see, that's why these billionaire owners can spend the money. A lot of teams, I'm looking in your direction. A lot of teams not spending nearly as much money as they make. There's so many teams that make like hundreds of millions of dollars more than their payroll, and they try to tell their fan base, you know, oh, we're a small market team. We don't have enough sales. Woe is me and we're gonna go broke over here. They're hundreds of millions of dollars they're making. So I'm not like, there's a lot of blame to go around. Drink up, boys. $20 a beer, $150 to park your car, but we can't afford to buy a star player. Alms for the poor. Like the owners are out there begging for money. They're so broke and so poor. $20 hot dog here. But there's like loopholes in the system, and these billionaires are smart. They didn't get that way because they're stupid with their money. They own a team because they're smart, and they're like, loophole, you say? Financial loophole, eh? I'm going to exploit that. I mean, we can't afford these expensive players. Loophole left and right, left and right. Profit sharing, you say? Wait, what's the minimum I can spend on my team? And you're saying that a soft salary cap, and then if they go over that, they gotta split the money with all the other teams, eh? It's just stupid rules. Stupid MLB rules. Or lack thereof. Like, the Pirates should be ashamed of themselves for just like, let's ride the Skenes thing. Let's ride it all the way to the bank. Hey, maybe we should put some good players. You're fired. Anybody else with bright ideas in the boardroom? And maybe we work out the schedule so that he pitches more often at home, you know? Maybe we give him an extra day off here and there. Let's see if that happens. Now, I'm not claiming that I'm the only one responsible for Manfred coming out the day after I made this rant and making this statement. I'm probably not even 0.001%, or maybe not at all. But he came out the following day after my rant, and I've been ranting about this for a while. But he said, I recognize, however, and my emails certainly reflect that there are fans in other markets who are concerned about their team's ability to compete. And we always have to be concerned when our fans are concerned about something. And I also went on and on about how the owners are stingy and, oh, precious me, but it's actually not that simple. The players have a big part to say in this, and also the MLBPA, the players' union, have a lot to do with tilting the scale in favor of the players getting more money. The Athletic reported that MLB owners will push to discuss a salary cap at this week's meeting in Florida. that another lockout appears likely when the CBA expires at midnight entering December 2nd. Rob Manfred seems to suggest that lockouts should be considered normal. In a bizarre way, it's actually a positive, he said last month. The great thing about off-season lockouts is the leverage that exists gets applied between the bargaining parties. Meanwhile, MLBPA Executive Director Tony Clark has strongly expressed the opposite opinion. Players know from firsthand experience that a lockout is neither routine nor positive. It's a weapon, plain and simple, implemented to pressure players and their families by taking away a player's ability to work. The MLBPA has said in the past that they will not accept a salary cap. So if the owners do decide that it's something they all agree on to address the revenue disparity between smaller and larger market teams, we could be looking at another shutdown. Manfred wants to change the way league handles TV distribution. He wants to significantly alter revenue sharing, the way teams share money amongst themselves. Those are difficult issues politically amongst clubs, one that a cap could help smooth over. Now, if you don't know much about the MLB salary cap, here's an insight into it. Major League Baseball does not have a salary cap. Instead, it has a luxury tax called competitive balance tax. The CBT regulates how much money a team can spend on its roster. MLB is unique among the 4 other sports. It's the only sport that doesn't have a salary cap, and the owner's last attempt to impose a salary cap ended in disaster. Without a salary cap, the teams can spend as much money as they want, and the CBT puts thresholds on how much a team can spend. In 2022, the threshold was $230 million. In 2026, it'll be $244 million. And the CBT imposes taxes on teams that exceed the threshold. Here's a chart of 2023 revenue versus the 2024 expected payroll. You can see that the number on the right is a percentage of what their revenue is and how much their payroll is, and the Mets are at the very top. So the Mets are actually spending a lot of money relative to the revenue that they make. You may be asking yourself, the New York Mets, that's a huge market team. But if you look at the 2024 MLB attendance trends, the Mets are actually quite low in attendance, but I expect that's going to change this year with the big Soto signing. On top, as you would expect, the Dodgers and the Yankees, followed by the Braves, who have a spectacular team. But the Cardinals have a lot of attendance. Also the Padres, Phillies, Diamondbacks, and Astros. And if you look at the Scrooge Index, which is the amount of revenue they make over top of their payroll, once again, Yankees and Dodgers at top. But a surprising name at the top is the Red Sox, with a revenue of $557 million and a payroll of only $224 million. And these numbers include the luxury tax penalties. And if you're wondering how much influence your payroll has on your chances of winning the World Series, here's a cool chart. It shows the last several World Series winners, and the white bar is the league average spending, and the red bar is how much that team spent relative to the league average. And you can see that every single World Series winner, excluding maybe the 17 Astros with an asterisk next to it, and the 15 Kansas City Royals, every other year, the team that wins the World Series spends a significant amount of money more than the league average. So clearly there's a direct correlation between how much money you spend and if you win a World Series. And I would be remiss if I didn't offer a couple of suggestions. It's not like these things haven't been talked about, but greed overshadows everything else. A couple of things to consider might be establishing a floor, making sure that these cheap teams that spend hardly any money actually have a floor that they have to set and make it relatively close to the salary cap. And if you get your Scrooge owners coming around saying, oh, we can't afford to spend that kind of money, guess what? You have to sell the team then. Make a credible threat. And with that threat, provide a list of other cities and states that desperately want a team. Or how about countries? I know they're trying to expand Major League Baseball into different countries throughout the world. What about Mexico? They have a huge following for Major League Baseball. Let's give Mexico a team. What about another team in Canada? How about the Dominican Republic? How about the UK? We've been playing games over across the pond for the last few years. Have a list of credible cities, states, and countries that are lining up for MLB teams, and these Scrooge owners might think twice before saying, we can't afford to bring on any additional payroll. Those are my thoughts, but let me know what you think in the comments below.